So let's cover some of the selection tools that Photoshop offers. The first one is actually the Move tool. So I'm going to click the very top tool or hit the V for hotkey. So this is the first thing will let you select the contents of a layer. So the best layer right now to move is going to be the rabbit since it is all merged together. So by clicking and moving, you can see that all of the information that is on this layer is able to be moved. And currently I have something called Snap. So under on the menu bar under View, there's something called Snap. And this is asking Photoshop to make mathematical decisions about the position of your content and where maybe you want it to rest. So right here, with the two pink lines, it's showing me this is the center of the image. And now it's starting to make guesses if I want the rabbit to be aligned to the bottom of a cloud, the middle of the tree, and so on. I'm actually going to turn that off. Now you can see moving freely. The Move tool is very simple. It just moves everything on the layer all together. The next most common selection tool is the Marquee. So the Marquee is this rectangular dotted line. So now everything is selected within this rectangle, but the only layer that is currently selected is this tree green. So if I actually click and press, if I actually click X, or V, I should say. If I click V, while this marquee is up, you'll see that the pointer turned into a black arrow with a pair of scissors. So that means now this rectangle is going to cut. And I will be able to click and sort of cut and pull that part of the tree out. But you can see it left a little bit of green at the edge. Just to make that a little bit clearer, I'm going to do that again and make it... I'm going to go deselect or Command D. I'm going to hit the M again, and I'm going to cut the tree in half here. And then clicking V, and watch, it'll turn into a black arrow with scissors. You can see that you just took that section of green and moved it. So now you can see that the dotted line is not in a rectangle anymore. It's actually mapped to the edges of the pixels that are on that specific layer. What's nice about the Marquee tool is that you can actually use it to make shapes as well. So if you went to, let's go to the very top and add a new layer. What you can do is you can make a marquee. Now, since I have this selected, I can go to my fill, paint bucket. And now if I click on this topmost layer inside the marquee, it will give me a perfect red rectangle. And right below the marquee tool is the lasso tool. So this tool is probably one that you're familiar with if you've done any sort of Photoshop work. This one is a click and drag tool. So this is the organic lasso, I like to say it. So it'll make any sort of shape that you draw on it, but it needs to close. So it needs to meet the other end where you started in order to make a perfect selection. And right about there. It will also sort of guess. So if you stop about a millimeter or so away from your beginning point, it'll make the guess. If you, let's make a little mistake here. So if you draw pretty roughly around the tree to begin with, and then say right about here you accidentally lift your pen, it's gonna just automatically make those two ends meet with whatever sort of line it has to make. So the drawback to the lasso tool is that you need to sort of like do it all in one stroke. Now you can also make a new layer and fill this shape with color as well. So I'm press G for my paint bucket, and then I clicked. Now I have another green shape. And one last selection tool to be aware of, one that I use all the time, is a function called select all. So what select all does is it makes the very edges of the image turn into a marquee. So you can go up to the select menu, and then at the very top, select all is Command A. So now you can see the entire image is selected. And the reason you would want to do that is to do something called copy merged. So right now I'm going to go to edit, and here you can see the sort of normal cut, copy, paste, and right below copy is copy merged. So what this does is make a brand new single layer full of all of our visible information. So now that I have copy merged, I can go to new, click OK, because what that does is the information that is on the clipboard that the computer is remembering for you will actually auto-populate here because it says document type clipboard. It's all the dimensions we need, the resolution. Click OK. And now I can go back to edit and either paste in place, which will put that layer exactly where it was in the former document, or just regular paste will do the same, but I like to do this to be sure. So now I have a copy of my image that is completely flat. I use this for a lot of projects when I'm trying to, maximize my workflow. Just a good trick for you guys to know. And those are the sort of basic selection tools. There's a lot more we can do, but these will serve you pretty well for our first few weeks of class.